Hey guys, what's going on? Okay, so like I was saying, you probably saw the first video. If not, you're watching this video now, trying to wonder what I'm talking about. No, I'm not talking about Naturias. I mean, that'd be kind of cool if I was, but actually, I'm going to be talking about Six Samurai. So, why am I going to be talking about Six Samurai? The reasoning is because I feel like they're really strong in this format, because they have so much ability and so much power. And I've got a couple of the key cards up here. One of the older key cards, a few of them that I don't really use. I'll show you my other deck. I'll do a profile on it for you later. But basically, so I'm going to start with Grandmaster. This guy is really nice because you have two options with him. You can use him as either XYZ5 with Shien, which it isn't, that's not recommended. I wouldn't do that, but that's like if I'm in a pinch and I really need to, I can go into him. He's also a 2100 beater, a free summon, and he also goes in really well with 6 Sam United. And 6 Sam United, it's basically if you get two monsters summoned out on the field with the name 6 Samurai, you instantly get to draw two cards basically from the deck. It's basically the 6 Samurai version of Pot of Greed. And I feel like that's good, but I feel like that's what makes Grandmaster so good, is that you only need one of him though, because you can only control one, so you might as well just play the one, because you don't need more than that. And after that, it really just gets kind of cloggy in the hand. So coming up next is Zanji. Now I run one Zanji personally when I do, because Zanji he's an asceticism target, and asceticism, I'll get to that card in a bit, but asceticism is very broke compared to the rest, because it gets the special out other monsters, and I'll show you the other combos with it. And then Kizon, this guy, you can still run three of him, which is crazy because he's basically a free special summon, and if you have two other with different names besides Kizon, he actually gets 2100 attack. So basically, he becomes like the baby Grandmaster kind of. He gets to be special summoned, and he gets to get 2100 attack. Sorry. This is Iru. Now, the thing about Iru was, I used to run one copy of him for two reasons. One, 1700 attack, so that would make him an asceticism target. And two, of his effect to destroy set to cards. But in this format, no one really sets cards anymore unless they want you to attack into them. And even though Iru would get his effect, technically, it isn't that great, and he's kind of just a dead draw if you get him. So hence why I don't really run him anymore, because he's just not that good. Next we'll be talking about Inishi. Inishi, this one is another just basically an asceticism target for. I'll show you the cool trick with this guy, but basically he's kind of just another asceticism target in a sense, but at the same time he isn't. He's mace. I've actually done it where it was Inishi. It's probably one of my replays when I show it, but it'll have Inishi or either Zanji. It might be one of those two. And Kizon. I got all three Kizons in hand, and I made 2 rank 4s, and I just spammed the opponent player. Hand of the 6 Samurai. This is really nice to have. Just one copy of it, because for two reasons. One, it can basically pop itself as long as you have another card on top of the field, and you get to pop an opponent's monster. It doesn't matter what position it's in, so you can just pop it for free. Second, it's level 3, and that's really huge because when I do the deck profile, I'll show you what makes that so good compared to like if you run something else. And also, it's just a one pop basically. It's kind of a 1-for-1 at the same time. And that's really nice to have, in my opinion. Spirit of the 6 Samurai. I don't run this. I don't like it. It's kind of a dead draw. It can asceticism. Sure, it can make your Shien into a 3000 beater, but what's that going to do for you? That's not going to do anything. I mean, honestly, that's not going to do anything for you. Elder. I only run 2 of it, but this is this one, and Kagamusha. This is the bread and butter to get out Shien and Naturia Beast. These are the bread and butter monsters right here. Those are bread and butter. Basically, doesn't matter how it works, as long as you have that one, as long as you have Elder plus Kagamusha, or an asceticism in one of the two, you have a free Shien. And that's what makes it so nice, and that's why I actually prefer it, and I actually like it a lot. And then also, once you get basically Shien and the two Naturias on the field, your opponent's completely stunned in the back row. So that's really nice as well. Then there's this guy. This is Kageki. The old combo to get out Shien was Kageki and Kagamusha, but now it's more of you use Kageki to either make Shien or you use him to make rank 3s. And the reason you use him to make rank 3s is because it's kind of a shield card now, so you actually have some defense in Six Samurai as opposed to the more offense, which it's more versatile in that sense, in my opinion. And that's what I think is so great about it, and that's why I run all three. I run all three of the Kageki. Next is asceticism. This is insanity. I don't even know how they can allow this to be at 3. I think it should go to 2 personally, because it's just, I know there's set targets, so it's not exactly technically considered broke, but it's so good. It is just so good. Basically, Kageki, when he's normal summon, he gets the effect to summon one of the others. So he can summon that, or maybe he can summon Elder, whatever, from his hand, from your hand. And then what happens is he becomes 1700. So what's cool about asceticism is it doesn't say the original attack. It says different name but equal attack. That is like the drag to the end, the rider to the bill, basically. That's what makes it so good, is you can sit there and you can use him to go and find a Nishi. Which I know it's like, well, why would you need to go do that? Well, a Nishi can be you can actually use a Nishi's effect, and then basically you have two 1700 beaters on the field. Sure, you can't overlay with them, but at the end of the turn, if you have that Elder down, or if you have that hand down, you can overlay, which would be great to do. And then again, the Six Samurai United, it's Pot of Greed. It's basically Pot of Greed, and it's really nice to have it in the deck. Personally, I wouldn't actually say it's all that great, but the only reason I don't say it's great is because you gotta wait until you have 2 monsters. If you don't have those guaranteed 2 monsters, it starts to just be a clog on the field. But all in all, it's not that bad. This is Temple of the Six. This is one of those cards I want to show that's like, I just feel like it didn't really get any C, and it just, there's no scene for it. It's kind of a dead draw because, yeah, it's every time one's normal or special. Yeah, it's great that it stacks infinitely, but it's like, it's only 100. Like, I mean, if it said 200 or 300, I can see it being viable. But 100, you don't really do that much special summoning, so I mean, and then if it gets MST, that's, you know, it's gone. So, I mean, if you want to run it, I would run it at 1, maybe 2, but I wouldn't do it too many of that. This is Shien's Smoke Signal. They had this at 2 for a while, and then they put it back to 3. Oh man, this searches out literally over half your deck. It searches out the Grandmaster, the Kagamusha, the Hand, the Kageki. It searches out all 3 of those for free. 4 of those, sorry. All 4 of those for free. You have asceticism, boom, that's an instant 5. That's an instant 4. It's totally got you. That's what's crazy, is that they actually have that. This is basically the Infernity Barrier of the deck, the Magatama, and it is so, it's barrier for Six Samurai. And what's cool is that it doesn't matter if it's targeting, like, if you have Shien and Naturia Beast on the field, and you have Magatama, and say you already use Shien's effect and then Dark Hole goes off, Magatama will still protect both monsters. It won't just protect the Six Samurai, it protects all monsters. It says as long as you control a face-up Six Sam, so you have Shien, so it's also going to protect Interior Beast. So your traps actually protect your other monsters that aren't Six Samurai, that's just such a good effect. That's such a good effect. That's a crazy good effect. And then there's Double-Edged Sword Technique. This is kind of like Rekindle in a sense, but it's not. Basically, you use it to go into a quick 5, or actually, I play Ally of Catastor, just because there's random floating Light Swarm players everywhere now, because of all the support they get. I want to talk about that. But it's crazy. They get so much support, so much. I don't even know how Lightsworn gets so much support. But, anyways, for another video. Anyways, the double-edged sword technique. Crazy. You can go into a rank 3 with it. You can go into a rank 4 with it. You can make black rose with it. You can do everything with it. It's kind of your safety backup card. It's crazy how good it is. There's a card, yeah, okay, this one. Now, I would run this if it actually comboed properly with Shien, but it doesn't. By the way, the difference is Shien. I don't know how it actually is properly said. But that's like Shin, and this is Shien. But anyways, so it says, your opponent can only activate one spell or trap card per turn. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, if you have that in Six Samurai, Shien on the field, then your opponent can only use one, right? That's not how it works, sadly. That's what's really sad about it. That's why I don't run it, because it's kind of a dead draw if you don't draw anything else. And if that's how the combo worked, oh yeah, I would totally play it. That'd be great. I mean, that would just be amazing. Now, the main card that you're going to be rushing for is, of course, the Six Samurai Shien. Notice how it's only to 1. You can only have one copy of it. There is a huge reason you can only have one copy of it. It is a very busted card. Very busted. But not too busted at 1. At 1, it's still a decent amount. It's not completely overpowered, but it starts to get overpowered, because it gets a free negation of spell or trap either player's turn. That excludes something like Solemn Warning, or anything above spell speed 2. So it'd be like Warning, or Infernity Barrier, just stuff like that. It can't counter that. It's too fast for it. But it's basically kind of the win condition of the deck, because once you have it down, if your opponent, like spellbook players, if they rely so heavily on spells, and you get out Shien and Eteria, it's over. It's literally game for them, which is why I would fully recommend it. And then there's this one, which, you know, Konami, you had a great idea for a cool XYZ. Like, I love his artwork. I think that's really cool. It kind of makes me think of Rurouni Kenshin, if you guys have ever seen that before. It kind of makes me think of that. The only problem with it is that, it's just the effect. You only get to target one face-up and make him 2,000. There's no point. There's no targets for 2,000. Like, I mean, really, if we type in, Six Sam, and we look at them, there's nothing with 2,000 attack. Nope, nothing with 2,000 attack. There is literally no point into making into 2,000 with asceticism. And, I mean, it's basically kind of like if you have 4, I guess, then I guess you can make it for, I guess, like Six Samurai United, or just to keep the effects of Magatama on the field and to pitch keys onto the graveyard. And that's about it for that. Now, the reason why I want to show this deck off and try to get it back in and say it's not bad is because their main card is completely gone right now, and that's Gateway of the Six. This card, oh my goodness. When it was at 3 a couple years ago, I don't even know. As soon as it was made, people knew that Six Samurai were going to be good. Because if you just had 2 of these on the field, you were golden for the rest of the game. You were doing great. You can keep your plays going. You can continuously spam the board. You can keep your field going. Keys on was your best friend. It was all great. And when it was at 3, and Shien was at 3, your field was completely... You had 3... Basically, here's what it looked like. You had 3 of these down, 3 of these down, 1 of those, and anything else you wanted. Oh, and the Dateria Beast and the Dateria Barkion. You had both those, and you couldn't lose. You were unstoppable at that point. Your opponent had no back row. You had a bunch of big beaters that were indestructible, and you just couldn't lose. It was insane. Such a good effect back in the time. Alright, so the next video that I probably post up will probably be I'm probably going to try to do these as much as I can today. I want to get back into recording. I want to get these videos out. They're going to be kind of long, and I just want to get some content back on the channel. I've been postponing this. I've been busy with school, and I've been trying really hard, and now's my time to do it. So, next video, I'll do the deck profile of my 6 Sam and explain it, my choices, and I'll probably give another playthrough, hopefully tomorrow. So alright, that's kind of the wrap up of why 6 Samurai are good right now. I'll do other decks, just this is the one that I'm maining right now because I've always loved Samurai since they've came out. Even the gritty ones that aren't even all that great. Alright, I think that's where I'm going to end the video. So, I'll see you guys later.